Coming up, the Eurozone takes steps to recovery. Questions are being asked about the security at the Olympics. And the phone hacking case takes another turn. Also coming up, Italian leader Mario Monti has been giving his first speech in power. And police in New York have removed 200 protesters from the Occupy Wall Street camp. Good evening, I'm Matt Evans. After a difficult week, the Eurozone has taken a step back from the brink due to new leadership in Italy and Greece. Nicholas Pragnell reports.
Italy, Greece, Ireland, Spain and Portugal. All of these countries are being forced to tighten their belts with tough new austerity measures. Italy is sinking under the weight of a €1.9 trillion debt, with the rising tide of a 7% interest rate approaching. Italian Premier Berlusconi has gone overboard and now the new government has tough austerity measures to impose. Former EU Commissioner Mario Monti is about to take over as Prime Minister, and measures by the new Italian government include increases in healthcare fees, cuts to family tax benefits and revised wealth tax. Meanwhile, Greece has been in the centre of an economic storm, with Greek citizens angry at harsh measures demanded by strict loan conditions. The government there owes well over 120% of the nation's GDP, including a £110 billion Euro loans package. But what does this all mean for the UK? We're in Farnham talking to shoppers.
I believe it will, in the short term, make things painful, but I think people and the economy will bounce back in the long term.
I'm not shopping at Waitrose, shopping at Lidl, and then apart from that, I'm not really doing very well with the saving money thing. It's going really badly.
I'm not really trying to save money because I don't think it's really affecting me at the moment.
Nicholas Pragnell, Z News, Farnham.
Making an impact here in the UK.
Hello, Matt. The major problem for the UK is the fall in exports to Europe. With many European countries going through economic slowdown, the demand for UK-produced goods is dropping. This is especially true of UK businesses that supply parts for European factories. As production falls in Greece, Italy, Portugal and beyond, the UK businesses feel the squeeze. Meanwhile, the market's uncertainties are leading to investment being diverted away from those weaker European economies and into the relative safety of the UK. This makes interest rates here fall, meaning pensions and savings are hit.
Thanks, Nick. The investigation into phone hacking continued today with the revelation that News of the World may not be alone in getting information illegally. The notepad of convicted journalist Glenn Mulcair suggests he also hacked phones for The Sun and The Daily Mirror.
Mulcair, who was imprisoned in 2007, had 11,000 pages of notes seized by police, and these notes featured 28 names of journalists requesting information from phone hacking. These included names linked to the Daily Mirror and stories relating to The Sun. Spokespeople from both newspapers have denied any involvement.
Police in New York have cleared out 200 protesters from the Occupy Wall Street camp following a raid in the early hours of this morning. The police, dressed in riot gear, said the park of tents posed a health and safety hazard and closed the park for sanitation teams to clean up. Police used a loudspeaker to tell protesters still at the park that if they did not leave, they would be arrested. 70 people were arrested for refusing, but the majority of people left the camp peacefully. The Occupy movement was started in September in order to raise awareness of economic equality and has since spread worldwide. It may be over 6 months until the start of the Olympics, but already questions are being asked of the security measures in place for London 2012. Defence Secretary Philip Hammond confirmed ground-to-air missiles would be available, and the International Committee is happy with the safety proposals for the Games. Although the American government wants to send 500 FBI agents to protect its athletes. And now on to sports news. Here's our sports correspondent, Sambo Hodges.
Tonight, John Terry will be reinstated as England captain against Sweden, despite questions still being asked regarding the racism claims.
You're not racist, are you? Nick, you know we're not going to talk about this matter or the investigation, so if you want to talk about the game, please.
Youngsters Jack Rodwell and Daniel Sturridge will be hoping for starts after their encouraging performances from the bench against the world and European champions Spain.
personally, I check these players, and I'm really happy for the performance.
Lewis Hamilton won only his third race of 2011 in Abu Dhabi on Sunday. The McLaren driver took the full advantage of Sebastian Vettel's spin-out on the first lap to win the race.
I want to dedicate this one to my mum. Happy birthday. Thank you for coming. I feel fantastic. Really, I think it was one of my best races.
In tennis, former world number one Roger Federer won the Paris Masters for the first time, beating Joe Wilfried Tsonga in straight sets, 6-1, 7-6.
I played a great final. I started great and finished great in the breaker, so I couldn't be more happy, and what a great end to the season last year.
His career earnings has now risen to over $65 million. London Wasps flanker Joe Worsley has been forced to retire after failing to recover from a neck injury. The former England star suffered the injury in an England training session last season.
Now, let's take a look at this week's weather. It's going to be fairly dry with clouds for the rest of today. It'll brighten up as the week goes on and looks like we're in for a bright weekend with highs of 12 degrees. It may look bright, but it'll still be chilly, so be sure to take your coats out with you. That's all the news for tonight. Thank you and good night.